Moving to oneness. Nourishing curiosity. Embracing differences. Becoming one.
The landscape outside is covered in a thin layer of powder snow. Mystical, I think, especially on this special weekend of winter solstice, right? Yule weekend, I call it, where many go outside into the woods to create fires, to make rituals, or to bring it inside, to light candles or light strands, whatever makes the indoor gemütlich, comfortable, so you can be thoughtful, you can contemplate, you have a beautiful time with others. In Germany also we drink coffee or tea and have little cookies. I was lucky I had that with my friend today. And it is where everything slows down a little bit and you open up and share what's deep inside. So hello everyone. I'm Meilin Ehlke, your host of the Moving to Oneness podcast, and today we'll celebrate this special day of light of the world, right? The winter solstice. And yes, I know, in the south there's more party and a dancing probably because they're outdoors and they're celebrating the shortest night, where we are celebrating here the longest night. And a lot of people are breathing in because they are really looking forward for the light sharing herself more and more and more every day. And yeah, on this special solstice weekend, day, night, Yule, right, is it as well called? It is celebrating the connection from the Mother Earth up to the skies. And if you think about it, all those lights that, in my eyes, are a reflection of all these stars up in the sky. These millions and millions and trillions and I don't know how many, to let us know how many more beautiful beings are out there. And that we are connected to all of them. Is so beautiful. You have that in the wreath, right? The circular way of unending, the oneness, right? Then celebrating the connection also through the trees to the sky. So that's an important thing for building memory, right? What are we here to do on this earth? And that is also that celebration that is going on. We do know we can heal and there is eternity to us. That's why you have this symbol of roundness, but also the green of the plants we bring indoors. It could be the mistle, whatever you kiss under, right, that hangs in the trees. Mistletoe, that's what it is called in English. Maybe here and there is a hazelnut, or maybe not yet in a few weeks. But the Tannenbaum, right? The tree that you also bring inside. And that really goes back here in the wood cultures of Europe, that it was cut down a tree on Yule, and you would use pieces of the stem to do celebration with. We'll talk about it because you do have it in your food. There's a reminiscence of it in some desserts. Isn't it amazing what long things never get lost, that we keep them up so we feel the truth in that story, in that there's a depth in it and we can sense it. And that's why even maybe we don't think about solstice when we eat these things that I'll talk about in a moment. We do feel the source, the beginning. And that is so beautiful because we celebrate the beginning. The Hindi, they celebrate right? They go into the water in the ocean and they celebrate the beginning. Or in Central Asia, you have the night of birth, the Yalda night, that's also celebrating the light. I think that is also so beautiful. And we are bringing that light in. We have, even if you think on the tree, we have the little glass Christmas ornaments that sparkle as well. But getting back to the tree, so they cut one tree, sometimes it was an oak or a needle tree. Different needle trees, depends on what region, wherever they grow, were used. And they pushed them into a house or the house, into the fireplace, and they let it burn only from one side. And as the days went on, they pushed it further and further in so it could burn for 12 days. And that created also a lot of smoke. So the smoke, there are other rituals, right? So you have these herbs, the smoke of burning wood, the incense, right? That would also create movement upward. If you look how smoke goes up through the chimneys and it gets rid of stagnant energy. And again, you celebrate the connection between earth and the skies. It's also our connection, right? From our souls upward through our body, up, out of our head, in one direction, inviting in from the skies. We bring in that light into our body and we send it all the way into earth. But don't forget, we also play with it in the middle where it comes together. That we send out with our essence, with our flavoring, with our desires, with our work, or with our purpose into the world. And don't forget, we need this connectivity, right? The energy from above and from below. Otherwise, we would be flat like a pancake. The gravity would pull us too strong. So that's why I think was the celebration so needed to let us know that we can also be upright and grow higher and higher and higher, like every other plant, tree, flower, right? And that we're as important and can be so movable. I know you would maybe now say trees don't walk, but there in Australia, they have trees that move, right? Those were also depicted in Lord of the Rings. So they do exist. And trees are so flexible. They move with the wind. They change their form wherever the sun is, so they can grow into that direction. You turn it, you can see that it's a little crooked. You turn it around and it grows again in the other, and it makes itself upright. So that's an invitation maybe for you. That's why it came. For you to, are you upright and get out of the crookedness? So when you cut a piece also, maybe that piece that you didn't burn, and that ash was then used to put on the food of animals, right, to fertilize. Again, it is all about growth. Now we're getting also the funny part is, so the piece that was cut off, you have that in the celebration of desserts. You have that log. We call it Yule klotz or Yule block, and you call it Yule log. The French eat that, that is like a biscuit roll with chocolate in it, and you roll it up and it looks like a log. The English have that, and many of you in the US may eat this as well. And in the region I come from, in Hessen, we have a Baumkuchen, or really all of Germany. It's called tree cake. It doesn't have the shape of a tree, but it shows a piece of the stem. It looks like a stem of a tree. So you can see how far this goes back. I mean, I'm talking about 10,000s of years and plus. And the solstice, they are celebrated since people on this earth. So 300, 400, 500, 600 million years backwards, right? And we're still doing that. And I more and more are connecting to that. And I think this is going back to the roots. That's fascinating. So what are you celebrating then with this beautiful weekend of light energy? What can you shine light on in your life? What can you highlight within yourself or maybe others. Yeah, also see the light, the bright light of other beings. We bring that through us, right? The energy is light energy and it's so colorful. And I wish more and more people would expand and go into this flexibility that we're celebrating this weekend to shine, that the particles are expanded outward or have a long enough distance between themselves so the energy can just freely flow. The body can move without aches or less aches, right? And what has hardened, more movement can, or the energy can push through. Remember when I did a lot of yoga with the Koreans, they would hold, similar to Qigong or Tai Chi, you hold a position sometimes an hour or longer, one position, you don't move. But suddenly energy pushes through and you concentrate on the energy and makes boom, and you maybe shake or something, and suddenly the flow, the blockage is opened. An expansion has taken place, and suddenly it goes light, and you can keep on standing there for hours in a certain position or in a certain action, right? So the flow, if we concentrate on that flow, and that is another coming together, celebrating, singing, contemplating. Yeah, it depends, again, where we are, but also see what the plants bring us and how we're connected to those rituals that are so ancient. In your country, or as is it mine here in Germany, I could go on, those 12 days of creating smoke, we still celebrated. The church took it in a little bit and celebrates now from the 24th to the 6th, right? There was this movement also that, for example, the geese, that I had to research that, and I'm happy I found that. And because one of my main power animal is a goose, American goose. That is the geese where they fly from the north to the south in the fall, right? And the further north you were, they ate then also goose, not on Christmas, as most of here in Germany we eat Christmas days. A goose, they celebrated more on Jule's Day, and it was a shamanic expression. So the wise female shamans, they were depicted also as the flight of the geese, yeah? And it would go up into the souls. And you have something similar, if you think about it. It's where the veil, some people say, is very soft, and we can really move in and connect to ancestors, our own wisdom, go into the non-material, right? Because you do that so much time. You're connected and supported by so many plants, by the taste of it, or the smell of it, as we said, or the color of the green, right? The healing color. And even in the goose, if you go away from the metaphysical, where the goose is celebrated, shamanic. And in India, you can find the same. It has to do with the yogis and the wisdom. And there's also, they would be rubbed in, the women and the geese, they were rubbed with mugworts. Yeah. And we still use that when we eat geese nowadays. It's not really for the reason, it's good for the fats, but it opens the soul. It opens the contemplation. And I invite you to contemplate these days, or you can also celebrate the Rauhnächte. Once they were called Rauch, so smoke nights, yeah, because you were doing all this smoke. Maybe you want to also burn an incense in your home and in your room and see what happens. One transfigurates, or just smell it, and the scent of Weihrauch, right? They also use it in the churches. It does something with us. It has a quality, and it all comes from trees. So again, I'm thankful for the trees in my life. They're here with me every episode. So which tree do you feel connected strongly with? Or if you do bring in a Christmas a tree one, maybe some people have a few. Speak with it, touch it. What wisdom can it exchange with you? Or what wisdom do you exchange? And I sometimes put them outside in there with me till spring. I build up a strong connection to the tree and the greenery I bring into my house. But you know that about me and plants. So I invite you to look at that as well. And also all the ornaments, right, that sparkle in the candlelight or the lights of your light strings. Reflection. Reflect on yourself, reflect on others, reflect on the world, reflect on the culture, reflect on ancestors, reflect on what was here 100 years ago, 10 years ago, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 years ago. And begin to remember and what you desire to live now on this beautiful day, night, and this special time we have now, and also moving slowly into 25, right? It all comes together. So celebrate your light within you first, the most important, but celebrate it with all those other lights. Be part of that and make a light party. So so sparkle on, sparkle on, sparkle on. You're a beautiful, sparkling being. Shine your light into the world and touch others and ignite others with your light, like the match that you use or the fire lighter to light a candle. Okay? So enjoy these mystical times of contemplation, of color themes that we only have when it's dark. Say thank you maybe to the moon, as I did today, and the stars. And be who you are. I'm Meilin, your host of the Moving to Oneness podcast. Bye-bye.